Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. I'm Tom Leach, along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, and we're taking a look at the feature race on the Wednesday card. Last week of the regular fall meet, of course, Breeders' Cup is next week, but the allowance feature is the 7th on an 8-race card, Jim, and this is a group that I had trouble narrowing down. Who did you settle on?
Yeah, it's a nicely matched turf field at 1 mile and 3/16, kind of an odd distance, but I had a hard time separating two horses in here. The favorite's probably going to be Fars, the 10-horse on the outside for Kerry McLaughlin, off that win over the yielding turf course here opening weekend. And he looked very sharp that day, and looks like he had a little more in the tank, and his buyer progression is exactly what you want from a horse, 64, 69, 79, 86. So if he takes a step forward, he's going to be tough to beat. But the horse that I'm going to try to beat him with is Generous Kitten, the 5-horse. Mike Maker hasn't had a great meet, only has one win through Sunday. But this horse ran at Saratoga back in September and won a $50,000 starter allowance. The horse that came back, he beat Berndine's, came back and won next out. So it's a key race, also going the right way. And I'm going to take a shot here at 5-1 with Joe Bravo for Michael Maker with Generous Kitten. I'm going to use the 10 in all my exotics. The other horse that I think has a shot in here simply because of the flow of the race, Vigilante is probably going to be the other favorite. Got to come from out of it, so I'm not sure that's going to work as well here as it did at Saratoga. Barton Hope for Jonathan Shepard and Florent Giroux has a lot of positional speed, and there's not that much speed in the race, so I think Barton Hope has a shot. So those 4 horses are the top 4 picks for me. I would use 5-10 with 4-5-10 with 1 in the 3rd spot. So Generous Kitten is my pick in the 7th race at Keeneland.
I'm going to try Street Tough for a little bit of a price. The 7 in here has improved since switching to the turf, which I always like to see. And then you've got several horses that are coming off maiden wins, impressive in many cases. But this horse did have a good effort against winners, so has a little bit more experience. So I'm going to try this one, I think 6-1 on the morning line, so I think you'll get a decent price. But the ones you mentioned I would use with him, so I'm going to try the 7 as the key horse, but use with 10, 5, 4, and 1. Pick 4 starts in the 5th race. It's one of those cards that the 5th wraps up the early pick 4 and begins the late pick 4. And I wanted to go deep actually in every race, so that was too expensive. So I picked a spot to single at the end. So I'm going to try 5 horses in the first leg. Native Indy's the one I'm picking on the class drop, and it has a start over the track. But so that's the 6. But I also like 3, 7, 8, and 10. In the 6th race, I like Amazing Charisma a good bit, but I'm also going to use the 1, 5, and 4. So 3, 1, 5, 4 there. In the 7th, I'm going to use all the ones I mentioned, 7, 10, 5, 4, 1. And then I'm going to single Defer Heaven, the 1 horse in the last race. Ran well over the track opening weekend, has 2 wins here, and they're switching to Lannery to ride. And I think there's a lot to like about the 1. So I'm just going to single the 1 at the end and try to spread in the other legs. How about you?
I'm going to single a different race. It is a spread sequence, so you need to find the race you like best, and that happens to be the 2nd leg for me. In the 5th race, I would go deep with 5 horses. I would go 2, 3, 6, 7, 10. My pick would be pretty priceless, the 3, but not a very firm pick. Maiden claimers sometimes have surprising results. And I like 2, Just Be Stepping, first-time starter, simply because she hadn't lost yet. So you always look at first-time starters that might be training fairly well. So 2, 3, 6, 7, 10. I will single the 4-horse Prognosis in the 2nd leg for B.J. Hernandez. Got a lot of speed and jumped up at Ellis Park and won. Was not a surprise there at 6-5 and won the maiden special weight by leading on the front end with a 6-horse field here. I think she may get the same kind of trip. So single the 4. I would use the horses that I mentioned in the 7th race through 1, 4, 5, 10, Vigilante, Barton Holt, Generous Kitten, and Fars. And then I would go 5 deep in the end with 1, 4, 6, 7, 9. I agree with Defer Heaven being the top pick, but I'd also use Mr. Fuzzy Bottom, Abba, Plunder, and Bulldozer, the 9. So 4 by single, or 5 by single by 4 by 5 is about a $50 ticket.
I think in the first leg you're using the 2-horse. Otherwise, I think we have all the same horses we're using, just in different combinations. So hopefully we're settled in on the right ones, and everybody can find their way to that late pick 4, us included. 4 days of racing left, starting with the Wednesday card. The closing day features the Pin Oak Valley View on Saturday, and then Sunday the morning workout program begins with the Breeders' Cup horses, and you can follow that at Keeneland.com, and we'll be out there at the track covering that, and you can come out and see the Breeders' Cup horses working starting Sunday, and then, of course, prelude to the Cup a week from tomorrow. Best of luck on your wagers on the Wednesday card. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. This is the In the Money Podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.